my brother Kendall.
I'm sailing with my brother Kevin
On Gadzooks, baby!
Hey folks, this is Sailing Brother Kevin of Flying Scott 5954 here with yet another instructional video. This is Gadzooks behind me, and what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how we rig up our masthead camera. This is iteration number 3 or maybe number 4, but we think we've got the bugs worked out now. So with that, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how this is all done. Okay. What you're going to need is you're going to need your Insta360 with a couple of spare batteries. You're going to need your remote starter and wristwatch. You want to put a zip tie on your Insta360, black one preferably, a small black one, so that you can tie a safety cord on it. The other thing that you're going to want at the masthead is a 1/4-20 aluminum threaded rod. You can buy this at Grainger. Normally on a 1/4-20 threaded rod you get 7/16 inch nuts. That's what this is, 7/16 inch. However, the spacing in the sheave is only 3/8 of an inch. Fortunately, Grainger sells a specialty nut. These are nut extenders. They're brass, and you want brass. And they are 3/8 of an inch, and they fit right inside the sheave. And that's about 8-9 inches of rod. I've got a thread extender here and a thread extender here, and I've riveted through with 1/2 inch aluminum rivets. This is a lock nut, and that's to hold the camera on. And notice it's on backwards, right? It's not really backwards. You can thread it from this end, or you can back thread it from that end, either way. So from that, what we do is we put on the camera, and I'll show you how we do that. The camera fits on. It's got a 1/4-20 receptacle there, and it fits on just by spinning it onto the nut. And then in an ideal world, what you want to do is you want to tighten down that 1/4-20 nut underneath it. Line it up in line with the mast, and then tighten this nut up around it. And then this guy here is your safety line, and where we tie him is we tie him to a little post right there. But you could tie him to this post. You could even potentially tie him around the threaded nut. You could create a safety hole up here and tie it back to here. All right, when it gets all done, what this looks like is something like that. And the key is that you don't want this zip tie here to slide down too far, because the battery compartment is over here. Now, we're not going to change the battery over the course of a 2, 3, 4 day regatta, so keep that in mind. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to prep up for the auxiliary battery, and to do that we have to open this little slot right here. That is a USB-C slot. And now the most important part about this is you need a USB-C-L bracket. Now Insta360 sells one of these that actually seals into the USB-C outlet, and so we're going to get that, but I want to show you, it just works the same way. This pops right in there, okay? And then what we do is we take our 10 meter USB-C to USB-C line, and we plug it in right there. Now there's a lot of tension on that, and so we do tape that up, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a second. So once we have it taped up, it looks kind of like this. Our safety cord is taped down so you can't see it. Our USB-C auxiliary power line is in there, taped in so you can't see it, and then there's an additional tape here. Now what we have done, and what we will continue to do, is tape it down the entire length of the mast. For purposes of this video, since I'm in my backyard, I'm not going to do that. At the bottom end, you're going to want an auxiliary battery. We have purchased this Anchor battery here, and I'll put the exact specific item in the notes, as well as I'll put in the exact specific item about the 10 meter USB-C to USB-C cord. This is the Anchor battery. This guy plugs in right in here, right in the top. You can see that there's 2 USB-Cs and a USB-A connector there. We then take this and we put it inside of a dry bag. And We tie up the dry bag and then we tie in the dry bag. That way we won't lose the battery. Now, before I go any further, I should say that if you're going to do this, make sure you get the extended, no questions asked, replacement warranty on everything, because there's a reasonable chance that sometime in the first year or two that you will ultimately destroy either the battery or the camera up at the other end, etc. The other component that you need is this guy right here. Mad Sales sells them. And what this is a mast front protector from the jib sheet blocks. You know, when the jib tacks back and forth and you've got the double purchase on, this protects the mast from those blocks banging into the front of the mast. The reason that's important is even if you take and you tape it all the way down, that last little bit you want to run behind this protector. Comes out the bottom, and when you step the mast, of course, what you want to do is you want to be sure that it doesn't get pinched between the mast step and the bottom of the mast. That would be bad. So fortunately, this guy does not come all the way to the bottom, and so there is space to come out for the cable. Now from there, you have a choice on the Flying Scot. You can stow the bagged battery inside the tabernacle or under either the starboard or port cubby. And that way you never have to worry about it. You turn the battery on, the camera on once. This particular battery will last about 4 hours before it needs to be recharged. The battery on the top of the mast and the camera lasts about an hour and a half, so you end up with about 5.5 hours of coverage, which you're not going to typically go longer than that in a given regatta. Plus, with the remote starting watch, you can start and stop it between each race. Well, so what? What can you do with a masthead camera? You can, of course, do some fun shots like stepping the mast and seeing the other boats around you in the parking lot. And you could video the launch of the boat and departure from the dock. These are fun things to do. But in some ways, it's like a drone, but without the hassles of a drone. The goal for us is always to learn new things. A post-race analysis identifying and seeing the line sag or general recall is useful.
Come on up! Everybody up! Everybody, come on! Everybody's over! Come back down, down.
Analyzing and evaluating sail trim, slot space, stern wake, and forestay sag are all useful and cannot really be seen from the boat. And of course, seeing the full fleet behind you is always fun and hopefully reinforces your choices. Post-race, using the mast cam to look at and evaluate wind on the water and your choices is very useful. So that's how we put together our masthead camera. The other thing that you can do on the masthead camera is if you want to use a masthead fly mount on the top of that shiv, you just have to drill out the holes for the masthead fly stem. Those are 1/8 inch holes. You need at least a 1/4 inch hole. put a nut on the bottom and on the top of the 1/4 20 threaded rod, and you can use that for your camera support if you want. Other boats that have a backstay, you could also do the same kind of thing using a masthead fly mount. They are a little jiggly, but what we have found is that the camera image stabilization works really well to correct for that. This has been another instructive video from Team Gadzooks, sailingwithmybrother.com. I am Sailing Brother Kevin on Flying Scott 5954 Gadzooks, and I hope that you guys sail fast, and as I like to say, suck less tomorrow. So great. Hey, thanks for joining, and if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and see more videos of us sailing, as well as more videos of us doing some kind of silly instruction video like this one. Thanks a lot.
I'm sailing with my brother Kendall.
I'm sailing with my brother Kevin.
On Gadzooks, baby!